Garnet, as recently as 7 years ago, could not have envisioned this, but in succession, every year has been a record-setting year.
And with that, we welcome you inside Tarbell Pavilion, the home of the Swarthmore College Garnet, for a Centennial Conference matchup against the Franklin and Marshall Diplomats. Bob Long, Jacob Brady alongside. So excited for this one. The crowd is large. It's Alumni Day here at Swarthmore. Lots of alumni players that have made their way through this program from some of the leaner years all the way through to where this program is now, which is the undefeated, unquestioned #1 team in the country. 20-0, 13-0 in the conference. And they'll take on a Franklin Marshall team. How fitting is this on Alumni Day? A team that has been a very tough matchup and opponent for this Swarthmore team over many years, but a little bit different this time. For the first time, Jacob, Franklin and Marshall comes into Tarbell Pavilion without Glenn Robinson leading the way.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you lose out probably the greatest coach in Division III history, a guy who was training All-Americans, of course, at F&M, who's consistently leading his teams to NCAA tournaments, to deep runs in NCAA tournaments. Nick Nishay, though, he did a pretty good job with them last year on an interim basis. They've had some struggles for sure this year, 4-9 right now in the Centennial Conference, 8-12 overall, but they always seem to rise to the occasion, especially when they're playing in Tarbell Pavilion. So I don't expect this to be, the sort of dominant win for the Garnet. Yeah, they played a sort of flat-footed affair back in January. It was a 68-53 win for the Garnet out in Lancaster, but I think this could definitely be different and see F&M come in with some fire.
Brandon Hodnett, the public address announcer, has the starting lineup introductions. Justin Koopa and Mike Rice in the backcourt. A very seasoned backcourt. Koopa, the junior, Rice, the senior. And Ignas Lika, the 6'6" combo guard, starting at the 3 spot. Number 11, Les Thomas, the junior guard at 6'4". And then Brian Hines, the center, at 6'7", from Mantime Township High School.
Of course, Koopa, the leading scorer this season, he's at about 14.5 a game. And then Hines, about 12 points a game for him. So it'll be interesting, that matchup inside. Look for Nate Schaefer to be consistently defending on him if he's going to be able to move Nate Schaefer out of the way.
And now the Swarthmore starting lineup, Vinny D'Angelo, the freshman guard from Sun Valley High School, who's come in and done an unbelievable job. Cam Wiley mentioned it to me pregame. Has to be something about that number 23 jersey. Coming in there and leading the show as point guard. D'Angelo has done a great job replacing Wiley this year. George Visconti and Connor Harkins, your sharpshooters on the outside, give you a little bit of length at the guard spot as well. And then the two bigs inside. They've gone through this program for 4 years together. Zach Odell and Nate Schaefer. A look at the Garnet huddle there. Landry Kosmalski, the head coach of this team in his 8th year. He has taken this program from rags to riches, and here they are, the #1 team and the undefeated 20-0 Swarthmore Garnet.
And it is important to say that in spite of that 20-0 record, 13-0 in Centennial Conference play, unanimous #1 right now, it hasn't always quite been smooth sailing, and especially over these past 5-6 games, first halves have really been an issue for the Garnet, dating back to the Ursinus game on January 22nd, where they just struggled coming out of the gate in that first half, struggled to play at their own tempo, to push the pace in the way that they know they're able to, and then moving on then. You know, McDaniel, it was only 26-21 at halftime. Of course, they pulled away 54-23 in the second half, sure, but that's a close one. Washington was close on the road. Gettysburg, a very close call, 74-70 in the win. And then even against Muhlenberg, where eventually they led by 20 in the second half, sure, but it was very close and trailed by 2 at halftime. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out of the gate in this one.
It's a deep conference. Ignas Slika gets the steal. No call there. Up the floor, they have men wide open, but Harkins elects to allow D'Angelo to take it across the timeline.
It's a great recovery there by Odell, just sort of flinging his arm back away from where he's going and able to interfere with the shot of Slika.
Connor Harkins, the first points on the board here tonight. And full court pressure here from Swarthmore. It's been a change in their defensive mindset this season. They decided they had the personnel to do it, that they felt they could pick up 94 feet from the basket for 40 minutes if they needed to. Here's Koopa. A hand check called against George Visconti, his team's first.
It's a smart job. He put that dribble down. Visconti's body just a little bit out of position, has to reach in there to try to slow down Koopa, and an easy call for the ref.
Mike Rice to inbound. And Odell got a piece of it. Odell goes through his legs, and again a steal coerced by Ignas Slika, one of the all-time steals leaders in the Centennial Conference.
Now, he's done a nice job already on Odell. Odell the bigger guy, but Slika active hand so far and aggressive in that defense on Odell. Poked the ball away a couple of times now.
Nate Schaefer would not give an inch on the defensive end. Franklin and Marshall man-to-man defensively in the early stages of this one. Skip pass, Visconti, bang! And it's 2 early threes for Swarthmore. They lead 6-0.
And when you come out in a man defense, that's not supposed to happen there. But that time, Koopa just cheating towards the middle, lost sight of Visconti, and you can't leave such a good shooter wide open in the corner.
Here's Hines. Looking to get it in deep to him. Schaefer trying to make life difficult. There's a double screen, and now a mismatch inside. Extra pass for 3, in and out from Thomas, and brought down by Schaefer. That's good offense on the double back screen to Hines, but they couldn't get on the ball quick enough, Jacob, to exploit the matchup. And again, Slika, his third steal. It ends up in the hands of number 3, Koopa. Timeout, Nick Nashe and Franklin and Marshall. So while the offense has not been good thus far for Franklin and Marshall, Ignas Slika pokes it away 3 times in the first 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, very impressive so far, again, because he's had these tough defensive assignments and constantly fighting there, and once again just getting in there, pulling that ball away. And we get another look there initially as Slika had the steal there, got running in the open court, but Odell showing off his defensive acumen there, looking away from the ball and still able to get his hand in the way.
And to your point there, and it was tough for me to tell. My first thought was there was contact there, but that look from the baseline looked like Slika just kind of lost it on his way up, the offhand. Couldn't control it with the left as he was going up, and the badgering of Zach Odell, to your point, big factor in that. Out of the 30-second timeout, Franklin and Marshall will again contend with full court pressure. Solomon Mathis just checked into the game, the backup point guard here for Franklin and Marshall. Shot off the ball screen, it's good. Bo Williams, the junior, Faith Christian School in Flower Mound, Texas is where he hails from. Cuts the deficit in half.
It's a nice job just getting around that screen, leaving Harkins on his outside hip, and then a quick release there as Harkins tries to go back across his body.
And another interception. This time it is Koopa. Koopa spins. Nice job by Visconti, but Hines some high-low action. Couldn't go up with it. Nate Shaver now a deep three. No good. Shades of Brandon Federici, a long-time four-year player for this Franklin and Marshall team. Felt like he was here for about 10 years, and that is a compliment. Foul called against Franklin and Marshall on the entry pass. And there's just the grab. That would qualify as pass interference in the NFL as well, where you can have the hand there on that outside hip, but you can't turn them. And that beginning of the turn elicited the foul. Harkins a step back. And Shaw got a hand on it. Last touch by Shaw. It's Franklin and Marshall basketball. Yeah, in many ways, Jacob, these two programs have produced a lot of Centennial Conference players of the year, and really some of the best players around Division III. I spoke of Brandon Federici, a guy with unlimited range. Won a few Centennial Conference Player of the Year titles. Cam Wiley, 2 of the last 3 titles in this league as well for Player of the Year. A blocking foul is called against Abbas Salah. Ooh. Sure looked from here like he dropped the shoulder, extended the arm. And that is a charge if I've ever seen one. My, oh my. At that point, the position doesn't matter, Jacob, when you drop a shoulder like that, although I'd contend he was there as well.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps they didn't like the slight lean of Salah into the contact there, but yeah, I mean, when you see a guy practically bull rushing there.
Ignas Slika ties things up at 6.
And you can see the offense, again, stuttering just a little bit out of the gate. And this one, it's really down to the passing and the ability of Franklin and Marshall to get in the passing lanes.
Here's Abbasala all the way to the 10. He's blocked. Kept it in bounds. 8 seconds. Shot clock did not reset. Now down to 4. Harkins a deep one. And it's another offensive carom. Shaw dives in. Couldn't finish. One more time for Colin Shaw. And that's what he brings, Jacob. A lot of energy off the bench.
I love just the aggression out of Shaw and out of Abbas Salah as well. Salah has been a pass-first point guard in recent years.
He calls that one. Connor Harkins off the bank. A little wry smile on his way down the floor.
And that's where defense starts getting you back into games. The Garnet have been able to put together runs at times this year, and they've really been ignited by just getting a series of big stops, making the sound defensive plays.
There's a jump ball. Speaking of sound defensive play, hand on ball, Ryan Ingram forces the jump. The alternate possession will keep it with Franklin and Marshall. There's another look. Shot clock at 15. Matt Redhead just checked into the game for the first time. He has it with his back to the basket. 5 seconds left for Justin Koopa. Got a step and a finish. Nicely done from Justin Koopa, the junior.
It's a nice job there. Ingram was all over him as he drove to the basket. Nearly got a hand in there to block it, but impressive job by Koopa.
Looking to get Michael Caprice involved on the block. Redhead doing his best defensively. 8 to shoot, Zach Odell. And a grab is going to be called against Koopa That's the team's second, Koopa's first.
And he's just trying to fight around a screen there, and in order to prevent Salah from completely getting away from him in that situation, just has to hook the shoulder a little bit.
D'Angelo to inbound. 20 on the reset shot clock. Nice catch there by Odell. Baseline he goes, and a finish off the glass.
It's a great job just moving your man there. So strong that time. And just, if Odell wants a basket, he's going to get himself a basket.
Swarthmore basketball. Redhead could not control the rebound. One more look here. You see Williams kind of flop back, and pretty clear right in front of the official, as you saw on that reverse angle. You're not going to get the benefit of that. And it's a home run here for D'Angelo. All the way to the tin. Again, Shaw, that's his third offensive rebound. Thought he was fouled that time, but he was not, and Shaw has trouble believing it.
I've been so impressed by the play of Williams that time. D'Angelo, unable to finish that time, but through his past 3 games, 15, 14, and then 21 points against Muhlenberg. We mentioned him right at the top of the broadcast. Cam Wiley saying a little bit of magic in that jersey, and D'Angelo's been using that over these past few games.
17 on the shot clock. Schaefer again throws this one away. Bo Williams chased down, didn't go up with it, and it's thrown away. That's the impact of Zach Odell retreating. And just a miscommunication.
That's perfect recovery there, not giving up on a play. You see Shaw, you see Odell sprinting back, and F&M still that high energy from the transition initially forces the throwaway.
D'Angelo puts up a tough shot, no good off the glass, and brought down by Bo Williams. Williams, a guy not afraid to let it fly, is taking some deep ones here. A little dipsy-do action on the underhanded scoop that didn't go a few possessions ago. This is Solomon Mathis, 10 to shoot, rises and hits it right over the top of Ryan Ingram defensively. Swarthmore a 13-10 lead here at home. Franklin and Marshall stays in that patented man-to-man defense. They very rarely will go into zone. Schaefer to the basket off the back iron. A high percentage look, that one just didn't go.
And Redhead there not giving him an inch there, a little tougher than Schaefer might have initially wanted. So he had to go for a little scoop there.
Mike Rice on the left-handed drive. Redhead traveled with it, lifted the left foot that was the pivot foot. Doesn't like the call, but it'll go the other way. Full court pressure here from Franklin and Marshall. Nice job defensively there. He's got to get out of the lane or get rid of the ball, and he does that. D'Angelo fouled, count it, and one. So good from the freshman, Vinny D'Angelo.
There it is, so shifty inside that time with the spin there and still able to finish through the contact. I mean, the way that this man can score is impressive. He's a threat from really about half court, and not because he's going to shoot in that situation, but you give him any sort of space to accelerate, he's just gone in a flash right to the basket, and that time using just the quickness inside to spin away from a defender and open up some space.
The old-fashioned three-point play, he completes it there as we see it from high above. Solomon Mathis Here's Redhead. He's really good from mid-range. That time a bit too long. But you'll see him take more than a few of those this afternoon. Patience here from Swarthmore. Odell bodied up near the sideline. Now he drives, forces the double. Schaefer, no, rebound, and he couldn't hit that one.
Yeah, so strong inside. That time just a little too strong going up for that finish, but the ability to maintain possession amidst the contact, impressive from the senior.
Speaking of impressive, Justin Koopa. Tough fall away, some contact there as well. Jacob, Swarthmore's last home loss in this building was in early December of 2018. There's an offensive foul, and it's drawn by Justin Koopa. But Koopa, a big factor in that game, hit a game-winning shot from about where head coach Nick Nashe, you see the top of his head coming across your screen, in between him and where Jake Panza, number 0, is. The game winner at the horn. That's the last time that this Swarthmore team has lost in this building. And again, Koopa with the hands underneath the blueprints in that win without a doubt.
Yeah, I've still got a video of that shot burned into my mind. It was a fall away, falling to the right, a shot that you expect to go in 10, 15% of the time, and Koopa swished it.
And since that point, Swarthmore has lost 2 basketball games. A road tilt against Ursinus and the national championship game against Wisconsin Oshkosh. That's it. Good contest and a foul called there. Caprice fouled by Yaka Panza, I should say. Yaka Panza couldn't hit that one. That was actually Koopa, and then Panza grabs him from behind.
And that's Schaefer right there, altering the shot from Koopa, able to stay vertical, just get that arm in the way. Koopa tries to navigate around it and instead leaves it on the rim.
Dribbled off the foot there. Franklin and Marshall will finish there. Koopa had to run that one down in transition. It's down to a 2-point lead for Swarthmore. Harkins the other way. Bang! Franklin and Marshall slow getting back. Connor Harkins makes them pay.
That opening 3 in the first minute of the game seemed to be a sign of things to come. Harkins now 3 for 5 from beyond the arc.
Solomon Mathis hits it. Some friendly fire as the legs of Nate Schaefer inadvertently took down the defender Colin Shaw.
It's interesting. With these mid-rangers, you see it at the higher levels of basketball, the NBA, even within D1, the mid-rangers are sort of falling out of favor. But within the Centennial Conference, you got a lot of guys, these shorter shooting guard types, who are really adept from that 12 to 18-foot range.
And Mathis, the last to hit one of those here today. Good-looking fall-away mid-ranger with the defender in a compromised position. 15 on the shot clock for Abbas Salah, the point guard. Shaw gets into the lane, puts up a tough one, and it rattles home.
There's another guy who loves the mid-range there. It's a nice floater that time.
Connor Harkins got a piece. Full court pressure bothering Franklin and Marshall early on here, Jacob.
Yeah, Garnett comfortable with more or less a 9-man rotation at the moment. So, if you can basically just change full lines, you can keep the energy up and get that backcourt pressure look.
17 to shoot. Swarthmore in the man-to-man defensively. Koopa for 3. It's good. A sweet stroke from the junior Justin Koopa.
A big game already for him, now 9 points, and doing his best to keep Franklin and Marshall in this game and doing a good job of it so far.
Odell met with resistance in the lane. Shaw for 3. Got it. Colin Shaw from the top of the key. Another answer here from Swarthmore. They go back and forth, and they couldn't finish on the other end. Jakob Hansa, close but no cigar.
That was a little bit of a catch-22 for Koopa in that situation, because you want to try to double-team Odell as he gets into the lane, but what happens when you do that is you give Shaw space to shoot.
Connor Harkins fouled shooting the three. Franklin and Marshall arguing that he kicked the leg out to draw that contact. See if we have a baseline look. That's the look we want. Almost got the look, I think, there that we needed. It was tight. Absolutely could have been one of those things where the right foot goes out a little bit. Most of the contact was on the lower side. You see Bo Williams demonstrating that to the near side official. And by the way, Jacob, I think they have a point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look back at the replay here. I think there's contact before the. I don't disagree that the kick out happens, but I think there's contact before that, which may be the reason that they ultimately give that in Harkins' favor.
And once the call is made, all of a sudden, this is a guy, if you're Franklin and Marshall, you don't want to see on the line. A tremendously efficient foul shooter. Hits the first two. Harkins now 32 for 39 from the stripe on the year.
And mind you, if you subtract the first, I think, 3 games or so where he missed about 5 foul shots from that number, he's a lot better than that even.
No doubt about it. Those account for all but 2 of his misses the rest of the season, if you're saying 5. Swarthmore nearly got a steal. Now Redhead, a high right-handed dribble, and he gave it away. Maybe not the guy you want it to be dribbling all the way down the floor if you're Nick Nishay, the interim head coach of Franklin and Marshall. Shaw will pull this back. 13 to shoot for Abasala. A roll in there from Odell. Extra pass. And quick on the closeout. Good strong move, but Franklin and Marshall elicits the miss. That's a pretty good double team inside by Williams and Redhead. Koopa throws that one through the hands of Redhead. It's Swarthmore basketball. Redhead, as well as the Franklin and Marshall bench, not happy with the call. I'm not sure what else it would be. It clearly bounced through the hands of Matt Redhead and out of bounds.
Maybe they think Ingram tried to save it right at the end.
Try all you want. If you don't make contact with the ball, it's not.
It's the only explanation I have.
Yeah. 27-19, 6:50 to play. D'Angelo splits it, pulls up, and hits it. Justin Koopa is down. He ran into his own player. As soon as D'Angelo filled that seam, Koopa some knee-to-knee contact there, it looked like. Timeout on the floor for the injury to Justin Koopa.
Yeah, it looks like some blood on the face there to Koopa.
Interesting commentary to our right here, Jacob. We got somebody asking for a foul and what their takes or needs to be to see a foul. What you're going to have is Justin Koopa, unfortunately, running into his own teammate.
Yeah.
The reason he did that is because Vinny D'angelo split the double team so well. Unfortunately for that particular patron, she's not going to get her wish on that foul call. Right-hand side of your screen, the Phoenix is here, right next to Athletic Director Adam Hertz. Good to see the mascot in the building here today, Jacob.
Yeah, I think that's the first time he's made an appearance this season. I guess February basketball brings out the Phoenix.
Absolutely. Hibernation, do Phoenix do that?
rebirth, I guess.
Rebirth, that's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
yes. Rising from the ashes, no doubt about it. I know another mythical creature, it's not mythical, it's real, but as Mathis hits the mid-range, but another famous little critter told us that we're going to have an early spring, so I thought maybe coming out of hibernation. But yes, rising from the ashes there, the Phoenix here for Swarthmore. Schaefer inside, good to create space. Nicely done inside from the senior Nate Schaefer.
I mean, I guess graduation and bursting into flames are similar things.
No doubt about it. Les Thomas with 14 to shoot on the dribble drive, and Odell with him the whole time. Mathis, a pull-up, couldn't hit the teardrop, and Swarthmore thought about getting out on the run.
There has been definitely some impressive shot making in the mid-range out of both Koopa and Mathis now, with Koopa having to take a seat.
13 on the shot clock. Franklin Marshall stays in the man-to-man. Odell, he'll drive inside. Thought he was contacted, but maybe a clean block by Jakob Hansa. Now Williams. He's going to get this one right back. Good shooter, hits that one. Impressive, the game here from Bo Williams thus far.
That's a smart play from Les Thomas. Get the ball and immediately send it back to where it came from once Odell is cheating over.
D'Angelo with 12 to shoot. Colin Shaw in and out. Rebound brought down by Panza again. Up the floor comes Thomas. No numbers. That was a good decision there by Thomas to pull that one up.
And consistently, in order to break or avoid at least the backcourt pressure, they've done these outlet passes to just get it into the front court immediately.
Panza draws contact, a foul called as Odell was out of position defensively. A nice head fake. Got Schaefer to fly by right there. And the contact, good job by Panza to feel it and put it up above the rim.
As trying to rotate over from Hines in that situation, but just a little slow there on that step.
Panza comes into the game just 2.1 points per game. He plays about 6 minutes, already pushing that here today. Listed as 6 minutes out there on the floor. I think we'll see more of that. Very rarely do teams across the Centennial Conference or across the country boast 3 or 4 guys that can go 6'6", 6'7", or better. And Swarthmore, one of those teams. Caprice, who just checked into the game, a freshman, adds minutes for Swarthmore, along with the two Twin Towers there, Zach Odell, Nate Schaefer. And then Justin Tucker comes off the bench, can stretch the floor at that 6'7", 6'8" range as well. And I think that's why they're asking a bit more of Panza here this afternoon, Jacob.
Yeah, definitely going big today to try to counter the size that Swarthmore brings.
14 to shoot, D'Angelo. 2 point guards out there on the floor, which you rarely see. Make that 3 with Ryan Ingram, who has the ball now. Ingram with 4. Ingram made one miss, puts up a fadeaway, and hits it. Ryan Ingram, how do you do?
Well, that's why you put 3 point guards out there. You get a guy who has a handle like that, keep the ball on a string, and open himself up in the mid-range.
Mismatch here inside. Redhead went right to work, but Ingram got his hands in there again. Ball's loose, and Ingram able to funnel it out. Beautiful defensive play by Ingram. And Salah. Caprice had trouble with it. Last touch by Caprice, and it's Franklin and Marshall basketball. Another look, though, at the fadeaway right at the end of the shot clock. And just like that, from offense to defense, you can start to put an imprint on this game, and that's what Ingram did in that last possession and a half. Now a steal for Swarthmore. Good close out there by Bo Williams defensively. They certainly know where Connor Harkins is at all times. Not a lineup you'll see all that often here from this Swarthmore team. And given away there, an ambitious pass along the baseline. It hit the red paint there off the hands of Abbas Salah. He'll take a seat.
Yeah, definitely interesting. The very small there with Capri's the lone big guy inside, but now they get Shaw back into it, and in spite of not being the biggest guy, plays taller and more aggressive than he is.
George Visconti's only played 5 minutes, one of the team's leading scorers. He has 2 fouls that he picked up early, and Landry Kosmalski with this depth, I think, has the luxury to hold him till half, at least with this 7-point cushion. 5 seconds left. Inside, Redhead puts it up, and good. Had a mismatch again inside. This time it was Colin Shaw. Ingram for the answer. Yes, sir. Ryan Ingram for 3.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you get 2 big guys out there for F&M, and just the ability to move Shaw inside out of Redhead.
Solomon Mathis. He'll pull up one more time, and the mid-range game is sweet from Solomon Mathis. Timeout called. Nick Nashe. Franklin and Marshall 8-12 on the year, just 4-9 in the Centennial Conference, hanging in on the road against a traditional rival.
Yeah, I think we've seen out of F&M what you might normally describe as hero ball a little bit out of both Mathis and Koopa, but they've been making their shots fall, a lot of them coming in the mid-range, but, still have been pretty efficient for the Diplomats so far. Mathis has 8, Koopa has 9, only 2 combined misses from those 2, so doing a great job of using their quickness and fading away for some jumpers.
Where you otherwise might grab a drink or some food at halftime, we're going to implore you not to do so. 2 minutes and 7 seconds from now, from a game time perspective, we're going to have Cam Wiley here with us in the booth. We're going to talk to him about his time away from the game. He's back in Atlanta now. He's one of those 1,000-point scorers that you see up on the in the bleachers and on the rafters here at Tarbell Pavilion. One of the greats to ever come through this program, and a 2-time Centennial Conference Player of the Year. So excited to have Cam up here at half for an interview, so stay with us throughout the break.
If my scan of that 1,000-point scorer list was correct, 3rd highest in Garnet history, and did that really in his final 3 seasons. A 2-time All-American, 2-time Conference Player of the Year. He certainly made a name for himself in the Garnet uniform. I imagine he will one day find himself in the Swarthmore Athletics Hall of Fame.
Without any shadow of a doubt. And you talk to him, and the humility and modesty with which he speaks is really the most important, really an impressive part. The culture runs deep here at Swarthmore, and he's a great ambassador for it. Shaw. And now 7 seconds to shoot. Odell with 3. Odell got all the way untouched to the rim. A little blow by. Leaves Hines in the dust.
Hey, he's just flat-footed there, and maybe Redhead was supposed to be a little closer there, but once Odell able to get around the edge there, he just has a clear path to the basket. Hines perhaps expecting some help, but none given.
Solomon Mathis got a step all the way to the rim. Count it, and 1. Ryan Ingram doesn't like the call. He'll pick up the foul underneath the basket, though. Any contact you're going to have inside that restricted area and did not allow him to land, you're going to get that call. And Mathis, what a huge answer that is. What a huge 71 seconds left of basketball that we have here in the first half. Swarthmore 38, Franklin and Marshall 32. They could cut it to 5 and then perhaps get another bucket, maybe 2. Trying to cut this deficit a bit closer heading into the break.
And whenever Swarthmore is coming up with a big bucket of their own, F&M consistently responding through this first half. You know, we said back in that contest, back on January 15th, I want to say, well, whenever in January, both teams looked a little flat-footed, maybe coming out of winter break just a little slow, but this time F&M a lot of energy, and that two big lineup has been consistently stymieing the Garnet.
One more time, Odell to the basket. Carbon copy as the big man is able to lay it in. Franklin and Marshall could have gone very quickly to go 2 for 1, but looks like they're content to run the offense. And Ingram got the steal. Shot clock turned off. Swarthmore looks to hold for 1. They lead by 7. Can extend it to double digits with a 3 to end things here before the break. Seven to shoot. And now here goes D'Angelo. D'Angelo puts it up and in. A swim move to the basket. That'll end the first half. And the Swarthmore Garnet a little 4-0 spurt heading into the break, taking the momentum with them.
Yeah, so impressive out of D'Angelo. Give him 7 points now. Again, it's the patience. It's realizing that he's not the big guy. He's not just going to go up and fight amongst the trees for a basket. Instead, he's patient. And even with the two big lineups that F&M has been rolling out there, they've still been able to get some penetration. And, of course, the outside shots falling as well, which has allowed them to break that down.
Good half here from Swarthmore. Franklin and Marshall hangs in tough here as well. Connor Harkins leads all scorers with 12. Mathis for Franklin and Marshall has 11. Swarthmore, dynamite from the field, 57%, 16 for 28. Franklin and Marshall, 13 for 22. I think we're going to have a good one coming with us here in the second half. Stay with us for just about a few minutes. Cam Wiley, I see him making his way through the traffic. Just about a full house here at Swarthmore, but when he gets up here, we'll have him on for an interview here at the half. Stay with us. And what a treat we have here with us. Welcome into halftime here at Tarbell Pavilion. Bob Long, and alongside me, Cam Wiley, a two-time Centennial Conference Player of the Year and a former Swarthmore basketball legend. Well, a current legend. Legends never die, my friend. How good is it to be back in town?
It's awesome seeing all the family, parents, obviously the team, Coach Landry. It's been quite the experience here for the annual alumni basketball game, and, of course, a great competition versus Franklin and Marshall.
How cool is it to be watching these guys? Obviously, a lot of these guys you've played with, most of the roster was able to return. Unfortunately, we couldn't get you back for a fifth year, but these guys that you played with so many years, the #1 team in the country, kind of carrying on the way you guys finished last year. What's that been like to watch from afar?
I would say I'm content with their success. They carry themselves to such a high standard, and that was never going to change, no matter what the personnel is like. So seeing them compete every week, winning the games that they're winning, such a great start. I mean, it's unbelievable how well they've started, and just proud of them, really proud.
What does it mean to be an alumni of Swarthmore? And so you're doing full-time work now. out of the school, you're in Atlanta, but Swarthmore becoming more of a household name, a team that people will now see went to the national championship a few years ago. What's that like to say, hey, I was a former Swarthmore basketball player. I lived that life.
Yeah, I mean, we've created a community, a basketball community in a sense. Even in Atlanta, alumni have reached out to me about the team's success. People are tuning in to the basketball program and athletics in general at Swarthmore. And so I think it's a great time to be a Swatty. It's a great time to be an alum, and everyone's supportive.
Take us back, if you would, Cam, through some of the key games that you feel over your time here at Swarthmore kind of turned the tide towards what you see right now, a 20-0 team, number one in the country, trying to compete, host another conference tournament, win another conference tournament, and make a deep run. What led us to this point for those that may not have seen those innermost details?
That's a great question. There's one game that comes to mind my sophomore year, well, even before that. My freshman year at the conference championship game, we were competing against Franklin and Marshall, the component today. We were down 26 points at the halftime and ended up fighting back and losing the game by, I think, about 3 points. Shout out to Shane Leffler. Had a great game there. But, we kind of carried that momentum into my sophomore season, knowing that we could be a potential champion. There's so many games. Another game against Dickinson in this building. Shout out to Zach Yonda and Matt Brennan. Just different games where, kind of just provide us that reassurance that we could be a great team. And another game, my junior year at Wesleyan in Connecticut, it was a Sweet 16 NCAA tournament, just winning hard-fought battles and just really building the trust with each other and, again, just kind of reinforcing the work that we put in every day. It's so many different moments that I could go on and on, but it's those probably the most memorable. Another game against MIT here.
Yes.
Just solidifying everything that we've done. Putting on a perfect performance. You just that's what you play for.
We were up here. We were broadcasting that game at the time here on the Garnet Sports Network. We're up here laughing essentially at these threes that are going in, 13 straight to start the game. I've never seen anything like it. I probably won't for the rest of my life. That was something that put the country on notice. I said it during the game. I still believe it. That put the rest of the country on notice as to that this program was coming.
Yeah, I think the focus was there. Prior to that matchup, MIT was they were a tough opponent, and we knew we really wanted to win bad. And that was the last game I played on the home court. So, we just wanted to go out with a bang, and I think the focus was there, the trust was there. And it's great, we didn't know we were shooting that well that game. It was like afterwards, people were like, yo, that was like the best game I've ever seen. And, we look at the statistics, and it's like, wow, we were really locked in. But that's just a characteristic of this group, and that hasn't changed as evident by the start this season.
Now take us up to Amherst, where you played the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 matchups. Yeah. Randolph-Macon, wow, what a game that was, start to finish. That was a battle inside and out. And Connor, the extra pass to the extra pass to the extra pass that led to Harkins hitting that big three.
Yeah.
But if you could walk us through that game in a whole.
Yeah, so to the fans watching, that play alone was probably the scariest moment I've ever had at Swarthmore playing here. Connor Harkins, the guy is ice in his veins, best shooter I've ever played with, and just had the wherewithal to knock it down at the most critical moment of our season at the time. But in terms of, reminiscing on the play, we threw it inside, I think, to Zach. He throws it back out, and we just swing the ball around like we practice. It's always making that next play. I didn't have an open look. I pass it. Ryan passes it, and Connor just caught it and knocked it in. It happened so fast. When you look at the replay, it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I don't have words for it. Yeah. I don't have words for it. But, there's so many different moments like that, so many different plays that have defined this program, and I hope they continue to make them.
No doubt about it. For the fans out there, and I'm one of them that never will have an opportunity to play in a Final Four. What's that like? Fort Wayne, Indiana, a great barn to play something like that in. What was that experience like?
It was it's kind of the stage you've always, as a young player, I played basketball my whole life. As a young player, that's the stage you want to play on, that you dream to play on. And being able to have that experience with your teammates, your coaches, it's what you play for. And everybody was ready to seize that moment. Unfortunately, we didn't get the result we wanted, but the experience was invaluable. And again, as you see the great start this season, it's made this team hungry, and they know that's their goal, to win the big one. And again, they're just carrying that momentum this season. It's great. It's great.
Cam Wiley is with us, 1,600-plus point scorer here at Swarthmore, one of the greats to ever do it here. So now you've graduated. What are you up to these days besides following Swarthmore basketball?
Besides following Swarthmore basketball. So, I'm starting my new gig at Allstate. I'm an Allstate agent in Covington, Georgia. And so I'm really proud to serve that community. A lot of great people in Covington, a lot of great people in Atlanta. If you're in Georgia, please contact the Wiley Wilson Agency. We sell life, home, and auto insurance and many more lines of business. Great service, and we provide great value. So, it's a really great opportunity to be with Allstate and serving an agent in Georgia. And I can't wait to get back home and get back to business.
That's good stuff. Well, I'm glad you took some time to come up here for the alumni game for this game, and to take some time for us here as well on the Garnet Sports Network. We're big fans of yours from calling you for 4 years, so happy to get you up here in the booth as well.
Thanks, Bob. And you've been great. It's great to listen to you back at home. And again, a great 4 years. Everyone knows your voice, so you're the guy. You're the guy.
Well,
sure.
I appreciate that. Everyone knows your shot as well. You're the guy as well.
Thanks, Bob.
We'll talk to you soon,
Awesome.
Cam. Cam Wiley with us here on the Garnet Sports Network. Just a few minutes until we get things started here in the second half.
Why choose Swarthmore? Wow.
I don't know how to say this in like one interview.
There's just like this magnetic secret on campus that people really can't describe.
The campus itself is beautiful.
I was absolutely floored when I first came here. A lot of it came from the values that SWAT has.
It truly is the people that make this community. All my memories are inseparable from the people that were around me.
I applied to Swarthmore through the Pressbridge National College Match, and it's a program that matches high-achieving, low-income students with really selective institutions like this.
I knew I wanted to play basketball in college. Basketball was a tool that would enable me to get a great education. In high school, I was kind of pressured by the standard to play Division I, but I wanted to pave my own way.
It chose itself for me, and I knew at a more pre-intellectual level that this was the place.
And one of my favorite things and my favorite takeaways of this place has been the community.
I've been lucky to experience what learning is like at other institutions, and I'm very thankful that I did that because that completely changed my perception of Swarthmore. It made me realize that Swarthmore is special in these very small and unique ways that actually make an enormous difference.
The reason I'm so involved on campus is because I feel like the things that I do here matter. You can actually enact meaningful change.
When you're walking around campus, like I don't feel like I'm just walking by a bunch of strangers, and being in these smaller settings, like it gives you the opportunity to build strong relationships with people that also have like a vested personal interest in who you are as a person.
It totally tailors itself to like every type of person. You can come here and be anywhere on any spectrum, and you'll be pretty well welcomed.
You'll find that the people here are here for you. I was able to find really good, deep personal growth. And Swarthmore has been that formative experience that the community allows me to have that space that I can have that growth.
I have incredible mentors who have helped me at every step of the way, which I'm really thankful for. And I don't think I would have that same type of individualized attention and recognition at a place that's not Swarthmore.
We thank Cam Wiley, two-time Centennial Conference Player of the Year and national runner-up last year for this Swarthmore team, for his time at halftime. It was a great conversation walking through that NCAA tournament, some of the key moments that got Swarthmore to where it is right now and the culture they've built, and what Cam is up to now in his hometown, Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks again to Cam for his time. But we're underway here in the second half. Bob Long, Jacob Brady, Swarthmore in the white, Franklin and Marshall in the blue. Back cut, D'Angelo, good left-handed finish. The assist from Nate Schaefer.
It's a great way to get started in the second half. Now they got the momentum going at the end of the first half, prevented F&M from really getting anything going into the locker room, and now you immediately come out quick basket and nice move by D'Angelo.
It was down to 5. Zach Odell glides and can't finish. Hines maybe just enough resistance at the rim. Hines had trouble catching that ball. Les Thomas didn't put much on it. Extra pass to the baseline, Les Thomas. Inside they go. Hines creates space and scores. Connor Harkins tried to front him. Good entry pass.
And they got the switch there, and Harkins knows in that situation there's just no way he's going to be able to prevent Hines from backing in there. Tries to get in front for the steal, and instead Hines makes the nice catch.
Off the D'Angelo miss, it's Franklin and Marshall with a chance to stymie the initial blow from Swarthmore. And a 3 here would cut it to 2 possessions. Koopa will do just that. Always the big shot type guy, and Nick Nishay wants a 30-second timeout. But Franklin and Marshall cuts the deficit to 6 with 18.5 to play in the second.
That's a nice answer right there. I'm a little unsure of the timeout in that situation. You have some momentum going offensively. You got some stops on the defensive end. I think in that situation, I would have liked to see F&M just keep running as they have been to start off here, but maybe just to figure out what defense they're going to run on the other end.
Swarthmore sends George Visconti back out onto the floor. He had 2 fouls, played just 5 minutes in the first half, hampered by that foul trouble. The leading scorer on this Swarthmore team with 12 points scored per game. And that's really what's unbelievable, is the balance of this Swarthmore team. They're averaging 80 points per game, and George Visconti leads all scorers with 12 per contest.
Hey, was it 5 guys in double digits, I believe?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, another one at 9.9.
Right.
Harkins for 3. In and out, halfway down. Here comes Sleeka the other way. Bo Williams. Inside they go for Hines. Couldn't finish. Got his own carom, and how about that pirouette to the hole?
That's great. They're able to seal Nate Schaefer off on the other side of the rim off the offensive board.
And once again, Franklin and Marshall just a bit slow getting back, enjoying the fruits of their success on the offensive end, but Swarthmore can burn you quickly. 6-point lead again for Swarthmore. Inside, Hines didn't get a piece of that one. No tip on Swarthmore's side. The Garnet will get it back here again. Another look. That's a good-looking basket from Brian Hines. Going to send D'Angelo off the ball. It's Visconti going after it himself. Spins into the double team. Good strength to hold off the defender. Couldn't hit it. Odell finishes. Justin Koopa a little slow to get up. Koopa might have gotten elbowed in the ribs area. A look at Odell. This was after Koopa had already gone down. You see him there at the right edge of your screen.
He's definitely taken little bit of a beating in this one, but still impressive fighting on every play.
And now Koopa across the timeline. Koopa glides to the hole, erased that time by Nate Schaefer. He's talking trash on his way down the floor, but Mathix is going to get it right back. He had Koopa up the floor, and he says, let's slow this thing down. It's a big defensive stop by Solomon Mathis. Swarthmore certainly a chance to take the momentum off that block. Now Franklin and Marshall looks for the answer. Koopa isn't scared, gets it inside. Hines spins and scores. Great look from the point guard, Justin Koopa.
And Nate Schaefer, a little too aggressive there going for that steal. Once it's off, has to get back in position, instead gets caught out.
Along the baseline, extra pass, Visconti couldn't get it. That was halfway down, Jacob. And Franklin and Marshall, as they tend to do in this traditional rivalry here in the Centennial Conference, hanging right in. This also imperative for Franklin and Marshall. Got a foul called, pulled out from behind by Vinny D'Angelo. They sit 2 games, Jacob, behind Ursinus for 5th in the Centennial Conference. So a win here would be enormous, and in a potential tiebreak situation that would get past the first tiebreaker, which is head-to-head, then they would go, how did you do against each team in the standings above you? So you'd start with 1, go down to 2 if there's a tie, 3, etc. So a win against a team that could end up being the number 1 team in the conference would be enormous here for Franklin and Marshall for multiple reasons in their push for a playoff berth.
Yeah, a fight for that 5th place team is an interesting one right now, because you have 4 teams, Gettysburg and Washington as well, that are within 2 games of that 5th seed in the conference tournament. So at this point, we're getting to really where every win, especially if you can get a win against a team that's up there in the conference standings, becomes really important.
Bo Williams has been really good here today. Drew the contact that time. One of 2, 6 points on the afternoon. Kept in by Slika, and Ingram does a heck of a job not to travel. He's just going to take the jump ball. Alternate possession will give it to Franklin and Marshall. It's a 5-point lead for Swarthmore. The closest it's been since 38-33. Swarthmore went on the 4-0 run going into the half and made it a 6-0 run coming out. But the Diplomats have hung tough, and here they are, down by 5, on the road against the number 1 team in the country.
It seems like there's been a couple times where, Swarthmore starting to build up some momentum, stringing together stops, but F&M coming right back with it.
Franklin and Marshall looks to get it inside. Redhead drives it. Caprice taken off his hands by Michael Caprice. Out of bounds, last touch by Redhead. Tremendous defensive play by the freshman Michael Caprice, and we had one more look at it there.
Caprice just staying with him the whole way, keeping that arm out, and then finding where the basketball is, avoiding any sort of contact with the body of Redhead that time.
Salah pops open behind the screen, looking to get it down low for Zach Odell. Slika nearly got the hand in there. Great effort by Slika defensively. 7 on the shot clock for Swarthmore. Swarthmore comes out in the box look. Let's see if Ingram can come off a screen here. The two bigs on the ball side. Ingram back behind the screen. Falls away. Couldn't hit it. Did not hit the rim. And Les Thomas picks it up in a tough spot. Don't know what he was doing there. That's one you either pick up right away or you let it go out of bounds. And he let that thing bounce right to the edge, picked it up, and all of a sudden gave Swarthmore a lifeline. But fortunate for Franklin and Marshall, they have the opportunity to get into the offensive set. Koopa through traffic taken down. A late whistle comes from right in front of the scorer's table with an official right on that side of the floor. Salah picks up his second personal foul. That's the team's third. Timeout called, Landry Kozmowski. 14:31 to play. And a competitive game here from Swarthmore College. 30-second timeout on the floor. You are watching Swarthmore men's basketball here on the Garnet Sports Network, part of the Centennial Conference Digital Network. Streamed through the Swarthmore Athletics YouTube page. Bob Long, Jacob Brady here, your broadcast team. Daya is with us on production. Great to have Daya Shrestha back for this semester. And we're proud of the product that we bring all of our loyal viewers every time we come on the air. Follow Swarthmore Athletics on all your favorite social media platforms, on Twitter at SWAT Athletics, on Facebook at Swarthmore Athletics, and on Instagram at SWAT Athletics. Back to action here from Tarbell Pavilion. Out of the timeout, Redhead had trouble, kept the pivot foot. Solomon Mathis. They can cut it to a possession deficit. Couldn't hit it from the mid-range that time, and Odell, a man's rebound amidst the trees.
And Mathis has been effective from that range today. That time just a bit off, and then Odell, two big guys on either side of him, using all of his strength to pull that down.
Bit of a disjointed possession thus far. Swarthmore able to slow it down. A grab from behind against Matt Redhead. Nate Schaefer will check in. He'll replace Michael Caprice, Vinny D'Angelo, and Connor Harkins. Replace Abbas Salah and Colin Shaw.
Garnet a little slow to come out in the second half, but trying to inject some life back into their offense. See if they can get Nate Schaefer going, and that hasn't been his best day from the field.
Great back screen there from Nate Schaefer. Opens up Connor Harkins for two.
That curl into the baseline, too. That's been a staple inbounds play for Coach Kozmowski.
Solomon Mathis. Can't hit that one. Tipped up and in by Matt Redhead. Diving to the weak side block for the touch. D'Angelo got to the foul line. Off the front rim. And again, this time it's Les Thomas, but Franklin and Marshall able to come out unscathed on that Swarthmore offensive possession. They trail by 5, 13-10 to go. Back cut, good catch there by Koopa. Able to muscle it up, couldn't get it to go. And Odell got rid of it before the travel. Franklin and Marshall stays in the man-to-man. 15 to shoot for Nate Schaefer. Harkins, rise, fire, hit, count it, and one. Connor Harkins have a day.
I think you got a sense when Harkins opened the game with that three in the opening minute that this could be his day. And he sure has made it that 4 for 7 now from beyond the arc, 17 points, and a chance right now to make it 18. And he's another guy that's just on the edge of double-digit scoring. Big game today, could make himself perhaps the 6th member of the Garnet, averaging over double digits a game.
Connor Harkins, the 80+% foul shooter. As Jacob mentioned, leads all scorers. Tapped back, but here comes Mathis the other way. 1-on-2, make that 3. Mathis. Slika looks inside, Hines. He's fouled and will shoot 2 at the line.
It was a good initial recovery out of Visconti to get in the way there of Mathis and force him over to the sideline, but they were just able to break that and eventually work it inside to Hines and got caught face right to the basket with Schaefer to the outside of him. Nothing that he could do at that point to interfere without committing the foul.
One more coming for Brian Hines. One of 2. And Swarthmore leads by 7 here at home. D'Angelo scans with 12. Now down to 9 for Odell. Extra pass, Visconti. No good that time, but a new possession for Swarthmore. Spins into traffic, puts it up and good. How strong is Zach Odell? Timeout called by Landry Kosmalski.
And you can see him with some words for Hines on the tail end of that. Zach Odell consistently in this game fighting through contact. A little bit of a scream at the end of that, letting off the emotion, but he's just been so effective with these guys around him. We've seen a couple times where he's just taking the speed to get around Hines. Hines gets caught out right to the basket that time there. Tough through the contact.
Landry Kosmalski, as demonstrative and emotional as I've ever seen him, as he grabbed Zach Odell, gave him a little word of encouragement as the rest of the team was loving the effort, able to move through contact, spun through a double team, lost the ball on the way up, didn't matter, he would not be denied. Landry Kosmalski having an impassioned discussion with his team. And now the discussion that Landry Kosmalski is having is that there's contact and a foul there as well. And now Zach Odell, as right as our camera was moving to the front court, he was laughing as Kosmalski continued the conversation with him. Gosh, these guys love playing for this guy. Traveling called against Koopa. And Swarthmore, I think, has a big opportunity here, Jacob, with the momentum flowing through the building. They lead by 9. It's been back and forth. Franklin and Marshall has gotten it to 5 and no closer.
For sure, you move the lead potentially to double digits right here. Starts to get a little bit of a feeling of insurmountability.
And George Visconti picked that from behind. Justin Koopa less than pleased with the call on the reach-in. It's going to go against number 5, Ignas Slika. And there's Slika, a simple hand check, put both hands on him. That's a point of emphasis across college basketball.
But to your point about these guys playing for Landry Kosmalski, I mean, they're all very talented guys, all guys who probably could have played at the Division I level, you know, in the Ivy League or the Patriot League, as Visconti commits the offensive foul. But, you know, they ended up here at Swarthmore, and Coach Kosmalski just has been able to coax this next level out of these players. And again, it's just, they're always having fun. I think that you see it on the court, you see it on the bench, even the guys, you know, on the end of it who aren't getting the playing time. But a guy like Julian Levin, who's always standing up, yelling out encouragement to his teammates. You don't see that on every team, but on the Garnet, it's present every game.
A drive all the way to the 10. Nate Schaefer says no. 4 left on the shot clock, 10:47. One more look. Solomon Mathis. Not in Nate Schaefer's house.
Definitely makes it fun when guys are doing stuff like that.
Let's see what type of design play Franklin and Marshall has cooked up. Another block. Got to get it up and does not. Shot clock violation. Nate Schaefer all ball. Koopa doesn't like the call. He hasn't been particularly pleased with any of them. And that certainly looked like the ball to me. Swarthmore basketball on the turnover.
And he's a little lucky not to get called for a flop warning there, I think, assuming that Schaefer did indeed get all ball there. It's a little theatrical with the fall.
Colin Shaw tees it up and hits it from the top of the key. Salah to D'Angelo, finding the wide open Shaw. That's tremendous ball movement.
Yeah, Garnet just putting down the hammer right now, especially defensively. Of course, back-to-back blocks from Schaefer, but that's a good answer right there out of Mathis.
No doubt about it. Franklin and Marshall cuts it back to 9. And we go back and forth as Salah nearly traveled, somehow kept it in bounds. And Salah might have been hurt on the play. I don't know if there was a poke of the eye as he was making the pass or if it has something to do with the slip. He's reaching for his face, so I think that he might have gotten smacked along the baseline. Another look at Colin Shaw on that previous possession. Salah will take a seat, replaced by Ryan Ingram. Being attended to by the trainers is Abbas Salah at the tail end of the bench. Zach Odell comes in replacing Nate Schaefer. And we're halfway home here in the second half. We got a good one from Tarbell Pavilion, the home of the Swarthmore College Garnet. Zach Odell, great position inside, allows the flyby and is fouled hard by Matt Redhead. And Jacob, it's the initial seal that creates that entry look.
And a great job just with the patience there in the paint. Koopa flies by, tries to go underneath the basket to seal Redhead on the backside of him, and Redhead, no choice but to commit the foul if he wants to do anything to stop Odell in that situation.
For our 2020 viewers, look in the high right-hand corner of the screen. 2019 graduate Cam Wiley, 1,565 points over his Swarthmore career. He joined us at halftime today as Zach Odell hits both foul shots.
It's amazing the talent that they had on those rosters over the past years. You see 2017, 2018, and 2019 each with the guys Zach Yanda and Chris Bourne. Of course, it was Chris Bourne's senior year, Yanda's junior year, where the Garnet made their first ever trip to the NCAA tournament.
Strong finish that time from Matt Redhead, gets the 2 back, and the deficit is back into single digits with 9:30 to play. Visconti plays with the 3 personal fouls, has not played much at all in this one, and could have had a moving screen call for his 4th there, but it was not whistled. Good discipline there, Matt Redhead. Forces Swarthmore to inbound with 9 seconds on the shot clock. Visconti rises, couldn't hit it. Shaw got a piece and a block called against Franklin and Marshall. And it's just a race to the ball in that case. Shaw wins it, and there's the contact. It's unfortunate for Koopa, but there's no other call you can make there.
Yeah, I was initially unsure about that one, but yeah, Koopa just comes in there, and it ends up saving the Garnet a bit because Shaw, his momentum is probably taking him out of bounds in that situation, or he's just going to have to sort of throw up a pass to someone and hope that the Garnet come down within that situation.
A lot of times those 50-50 balls, if somebody gets there first, the other guy, through no real fault of his own, is going to be whistled for a foul, and that was the case on that one. $18 to shoot. Zach Odell wants it back from Ingram, drives inside a triple team, and a foul called against Franklin and Marshall. Already the 6th team foul with 8:57 to go. One more look. Let's watch Williams here. That's a tough call there. Looked like he got a lot of basketball. But it is Williams' second personal, team's 6th.
Yeah, the job that Odell did maintaining possession there amidst a triple team. I mean, that's the respect that teams have for Zach Odell.
Ingram just a little bit long. Franklin and Marshall hanging tough, down 9, a little bit under 9 minutes to play. Solomon Mathis having a great day, and that day does not continue with that shot, but a pretty good look that time from Mathis.
And left D'Angelo swiping at air in that situation as he fell away a little bit to open up some space.
Nice block by Redhead, couldn't keep it in bounds though. Visconti hit the hardwood with a lot of force along the baseline. He's a bit slow to get up. Harkins comes in so good off these inbounds play, rolling off a screen, catching and firing all in one motion. Foul called against Ignis Slika. Some contact there. Understand why he doesn't want Harkins to get to the spot, but you can't bump him.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he was doing right there. He had a couple screeners, hoping that Slika would just get caught on one of them, and Slika trying to hang with him in that situation, but that's now the 4th foul on Ignis Slika, and it puts the Garnet into the bonus.
Front end of the 1-and-1 coming here for Connor Harkins. He'll earn the second, 61-51 the score. Swarthmore 20-0 on the year, 13-0 in the Centennial Conference. A date against Johns Hopkins highlights the rest of the schedule for this team. Work to do here today, but Johns Hopkins just 2 losses overall on the year, 1 in the Centennial Conference. That was a hard-fought 6-point loss to this Swarthmore team in this very building. Heading down to Goldfarb, place where they've had a lot of trouble winning. That should be quite the matchup in the game of the year, really, within this conference.
And I don't believe they've ever won, at least under Coach Kosmalski, down at Goldfarb Gymnasium. And then, of course, the week after that, they have to travel over to Haverford, team that only has 3 losses right now in the conference.
Count it, and 1. Ryan Ingram. A chance for a 4-point play. What a game for him today. He has been active on the offensive and defensive side that time. Get the puppies organized. A little bit of contact. Nylon. Counted in 1.
There are games where the shots are just falling for the Garnet. Really for both teams in this one. From beyond the arc, the Garnet shooting 56%. Franklin Marshall 67%. So they're just falling today. Haven't necessarily been their best looks, but you know, when Harkins, when Ingram are going, when they're getting contact as well, just not a lot as a team that you can do to respond.
Justin Koopa, the guy to answer all afternoon long for this Franklin and Marshall team, cuts it to 12, and you get a sense that was essential here for Franklin and Marshall. Now need a stop. Odell has the one-on-one. Double team comes, then subsides. Kept in bounds, and it's going to be Franklin and Marshall basketball. Great play there by Solomon Mathis. One more look. Hines stays with him the whole time. And at the tail end there was Mathis jumping out of bounds and firing it off the leg of Odell.
I don't see Odell get blocked very often there, but that time Hines just pursuing him the whole way. Again, his goal is to get that rim between him and Hines, but Hines sticking with him and able to get that hand up for the block.
Mike Rice, haven't seen much at all from him, a senior that has been a big part of the rotation for a long time. He has played a minimal role in this game. 8 on the shot clock. Mathis, count it. A 2, it looks like. What do we have, or was it a timeout first? Nope, they're counting the basket. It's a long 2 for Solomon Mathis. And not the most demonstrative call I've ever seen from the officials, but nonetheless, that's the verdict. What a basket that time. Mathis has been unbelievable. Another look, hitting it, foot on the line, but through contact. He has been a real catalyst for this Diplomats team today.
Yeah, those are big shots on back-to-back possessions. First of all, it's Koopa coming down with the 3. They get the stop. And then on the other end, Mathis comes out, hits the 2, gets it through the contact, give him 16 points now on the afternoon, 15 for Koopa. Both of these guys doing everything to keep F&M alive in this one.
Full time out on the floor. You're watching the Garnet Sports Network, and we'll be right back.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
We were looking for clarification in the break because we saw him coming out of it right before Landry Kosmalski called the timeout. Foul must have been off the ball or after the shot was completed, because Franklin and Marshall, they're counting the 2, and now they get a new possession at it. So not counted N1. Maybe that's the reason the referees weren't so demonstrative, because they didn't know what was going on. Certainly we are having trouble ourselves. Hines, what a big-time offensive rebound. The seal inside.
Going up against Nate Schaefer there, and able to come back underneath for the reverse.
What an answer from this Diplomats team, playing with a lot of pride. Nate Schaefer, he's blocked out of bounds, last touch by Franklin and Marshall.
You can see Koopa getting in the mix there, only listed at 6'2", with 6'7" Nate Schaefer there as well, but getting up to make his life difficult.
14 on the shot clock for D'Angelo inbounding. Harkins rises, and that is his spot. So good at running off those double ball screens.
Kosmalski just great on designing inbounds plays right there, and that's such a high percentage one for the Garnet.
Contact and 1, and Justin Koopa has to be careful. Throws a little taunt towards Ryan Ingram, and I think the official's going to talk to him. Solomon Mathis, I think, does the job as well. Let's get one more look. Now watch the basket come through. And right at the tail end there is when he was jabbing pretty good, and there's the conversation right now. The aforementioned conversation. That particular official saw it, taking steps to quash it. Ingram, to his credit, just backed off at that point, and he was removed by Kosmalski. But it's an 8-point game. Good catch there by D'Angelo inside. Too strong off the glass. Numbers here for Franklin and Marshall. Mathis pulls up and hits. And it's a 6-point game. Franklin and Marshall climbing their way back.
And Mathis and Koopa still the catalysts in this one as F&M stays tough against the Garnet.
D'Angelo picked up his dribble. Visconti there as the safety valve. 14 on the shot clock. And the Swarthmore offense has slowed down just a little bit. Odell inside. And we got a foul called against Redhead. Franklin and Marshall wanted the hook against Zach Odell. Front end of the 1-and-1 coming up for Swarthmore. Odell has become a much more proficient foul shooter this year, 72% from the line. This a big 1-and-1, Jacob. Not even close, but kept down. Extra pass, Harkins in rhythm. Yes, sir. A momentum shifter here at Tarbell.
Still his game right there, and the miss on the first shot ends up working out in the Garnet's favor. They turn a chance at 2 points into 3.
Koopa drives himself into a lot of trouble. Now Slika inside. Hines comes up with it through contact, got his own rebound, and a block will keep it with Franklin and Marshall. Some contact from behind has the folks here thinking foul. D'Angelo came from behind. A lot of times you will see that called a foul unless it was so blatantly obvious that it was all ball.
Yeah, it looked pretty clear to me based off of the video that it was all ball there. Avoidant making any sort of significant contact with the head of Hines there.
19 on the shot clock. It's a 9-point lead. Slika with his back to the basket. Swarthmore looking for the double team. Mathis, tough step back, thought he traveled. And Swarthmore with the ball. Visconti for 3. And Visconti's able to get it back. Williams would have been better just to grab that basketball, but now given right back. What a game we have here.
Yeah, Hines has done a great job defensively on Schaefer and Odell throughout the second half. Such a strong guy and just consistently either getting his hands inside or keeping them away.
Timeout called by Franklin and Marshall. Good hands there from Swarthmore's Ryan Ingram. Timeout on the court, a full timeout with 4 minutes exactly to play. You're watching the Swarthmore men's basketball stream on the Garnet Sports Network, and we'll be right back.
On and off the court, we're focused on creating lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus. And why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity.
Four minutes to play, 11 seconds on the shot clock here for Franklin and Marshall. They trail by 9 here on the road. We had a fan ejected from the game. For those of you watching the stream, I'll just let you guess which person it might be.
I'm actually surprised she didn't get ejected earlier, because second time that she went down to the floor and was yelling at the refs. But
pretty good restraint by the officials here today. Adam Hertz, the athletic director, taking care of business, running an athletic department one day, serving as security on another.
Takes his job seriously.
No doubt about that. Ingram across the timeline with just 1 second to spare. D'Angelo looking for help, and it's Odell. 7 to shoot. Harkins with 4. Good catch there by Odell. 2 seconds now down to 1. Got it up in time. Then Swarthmore leads by 11. Big moments here in this one, Jacobs. Got to be now for Franklin and Marshall. It's been Koopa all day and couldn't get the soft roll.
That's whose hands you wanted in right there, and that's been his spot throughout this game, but that time just unable to get the answer. And especially you get a shot like that off at the end of the buzzer, that can be big.
Vinny D'Angelo caught some contact from Koopa. It was the foot of Koopa as he flopped over Vinny D'Angelo. He was none too pleased. Officials have to sort this one out. One more look. Clearly a foul there. And got him with the knee and the foot. Certainly looked inadvertent.
I mean, the anger by D'Angelo is understandable there just because, you know, you have your back there, a guy steps on you, but I don't think there was anything on that.
No doubt about
on
it.
the part of Koopa.
And just generally speaking, this is a tense environment right about now, and Koopa plays the game a certain way. There's no doubt about it. He gets himself into the mix. He'll make some contact here. He doesn't like when he's called for fouls, certainly, but you can admire the way he tries to coerce some steals. He and Sleeka do a great job of that. And a little bit of contact after the whistle. D'Angelo did not like it, but as you can tell, no harm, no foul. Both players got out of there without any significant interaction.
That's all the answer you need right there. Just hit your free throws.
And a foul called against Bo Williams. Make that Zach Odell back down the floor. 33 for White. Zach Odell called for the personal. Front end of the 1-and-1 upcoming for Koopa. And unfortunately, starting with that timeout at the 4-minute mark and the ejection of the fan, things I think are heading towards being out of control, and the referees doing their best to quell that. Traditional rivals, the teams don't like each other very much. Neither team particularly thrilled with the officiating today, and I would agree that it's been inconsistent, though not partial, one way or the other. There's been inconsistencies in terms of what type of contact's going to be allowed, and sometimes when there are lighter fouls that do get called. Hence the frustration, understandable on both sides. 11-point game, big foul shots there from Koopa. Keep Franklin and Marshall in the game, under 3 minutes to go. D'Angelo able to slip through. Visconti, a drive into the hole, good finish. Got the step on Koopa, and it's a 13-point lead.
So good right there, makes the catch, gets his eyes up. So strong, so quick getting to the bucket there, and that's why George Visconti is leading this team in scoring this season.
Koopa lost the ball, 12 seconds left, he gets it back. Mathis with 4. Mathis has got to get it up. Did not. Wow, perhaps he did. That certainly looked like a shot clock violation, but Swarthmore up the floor. Ingram got it. Dagger. 16-point lead.
Yeah, you felt once the tensions were starting to boil over, the Garnet have done consistently a great job of keeping their cool in these types of games, and with the lead already in hand, just quiet, play basketball, score points. That's exactly what they've done in response.
Hines, a great rebound, and he'll shoot 2 at the line. Very impressed with Brian Hines here tonight. He has 10 rebounds to go along with 9 points, 6 of those rebounds of the offensive variety, and he could notch a double-double here with this foul shot.
It's definitely been as good as you can expect, especially going up against the Garnet, a rebounding day. For Franklin Marshall as a whole, only 7 rebounds margin in favor of the Garnet. Haven't been a ton of rebounds, and that's because both teams making their shots pretty well in this one. Swarthmore shooting 52% from the floor, Franklin and Marshall 48%, but a margin in three-pointers, 4 more for the Garnet, especially the fouls that came off of those have made a big difference.
Full court pressure, 15-point lead for Swarthmore. Ingram across the timeline. Picked up his dribble in a tough spot. D'Angelo there. Double team comes on him. Ingram again, open again for 3, and again cans it. Swarthmore, an 18-point lead, and closing strong here at home. Pulled away there, D'Angelo up the floor.
Yeah, but that's, of course, the disadvantage of trying to defend so aggressively. You get into a situation where you leave a shooter wide open on the wing there, as they did in Ingram, and the thing is, at this point you're content to give those up because you need something miraculous and really a steal to get things started to get back into this.
Vinny D'Angelo will shoot 2. Swarthmore in the double bonus the rest of the way. Justin Tucker, Michael Caprice check into the game, replacing Zach Odell. And Connor Harkins of Asala will check in as well, replacing George Visconti. A complete effort from this Swarthmore team here today. You mentioned the strong shooting percentage, over 50%, 12 of 20 from beyond the arc. Ryan Ingram, welcomed by his coach to the bench. He has had a tremendous performance here today, both on the offensive and defensive side. 15 points. Connor Harkins leads all scorers with 24. Odell has 14. Vinny D'Angelo with 12, make it 13 with that foul shot. Peter Fago checks into the game.
4th straight game in double digits for Vinny D'Angelo, and all of a sudden teams have to find an answer for somebody else on the defensive end when they're game planning for this. You had to worry about Harkins, Visconti, all those guys. Add D'Angelo to the mix now.
I'm sorry to Jared Groff had his hands up like, what? Who? Me? Yes, you. After seeing that replay, my goodness. Yeah, I would say that warrants a technical. That was not exactly what you'd call playing the basketball. Oh, man, after something like that and the way we've gotten here, you just hope for the next 47.7 seconds to go by without any more incident and call it a day here from Tarbell Pavilion.
Crowd certainly getting their final choice words in.
No doubt about it. Have to do it before you get out of here. There's only 47 seconds left. Listen, just to clarify one more time, I do think there has been a lack of consistency at times. And it's a tough game to officiate. Let me start with that. but the amount of contact that has been allowed at times has been inconsistent on both sides here today. You have a proud program here in Franklin and Marshall as well. Not certainly used to seasons like these. 8-13 they'll drop to here today. 4-10 in the Centennial Conference. And for a while here, it looked like they were going to find a way to hang in this one till the bitter end. That not the case, as Swarthmore turned it on here in the second half. 47 points scored in the second half thus far. Actually, that may not be right. 43. It got up to 42. I was thinking 38-33, but the 4-0 run put SWAT up by 9. That was a big momentum shift. Groff, no good. So what I should say is a consistent scoring effort, but an impressive one in both halves nonetheless. Panza for 3, no good. Caprice brings it down, and Swarthmore just needs to get it across the timeline. The number 1 team in the country carries on 21-0, taking down a traditional rival, Franklin and Marshall, moving to 14-0 in the Centennial Conference, and retaining that number 1 seed in the overall top 25 rankings.
Once again, a good win for them, I would say. You know, first of all, a better first half, a much better first half than they've had in recent games, propelled by that little spurt towards the end of it. Hadn't been great in first halves over these last 5 games, but I mean, and a lot has to be said about Franklin and Marshall working their way back into this game and consistently, you know, responding. Justin Koopa, Solomon Mathis throughout this one, responding whenever there was, you know, a big bucket on the Garnet end. But then you got the sense towards the end of it when the anger and the frustration was starting to boil over just a bit. Who did that favor? I think it favored the Garnet, and the result certainly showed that down the stretch, being able to take that frustration throughout this game and channel that into points, channel that into scoring, and just up your intensity consistently on both sides of the ball, and that's how the Garnet closed this one out.
Big game for both juniors, Ryan Ingram and Connor Harkins. Guys that came in together, have been tremendous players. Boy, a combined 11 for, 12 for 17 from the field, and from the three-point line, 9 for 12 for those two guys. A great effort from those guys. 24 points for Connor Harkins, 15 for Ryan Ingram, an efficient 4 for 4 from beyond the arc for him. Vinny D'Angelo just continues to cook. 4 for 9 from the field, 5 for 5 from the foul line, 13 points there. Colin Shaw chipped in 10 in what seemed like a short day for him. He only played 23 minutes, but 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting. That's very efficient as well. Odell had 14, Schaefer with 2, Visconti 7. And a very impressive effort for this team to put up 85 against Franklin and Marshall.
Yeah, I mean, it's all around balance, you know, going through there. Again, pointing out 5 guys in double figures for the Garnet. Everybody finding a way to make their impact on the score sheet. But I think what certainly bodes well for the Garnet going down the stretch, and, you know, now starting to look forward to the playoffs, Connor Harkins having a big game. Ryan Ingram, as you said, alongside him, getting those guys going, because there had been, you know, some amount of inconsistency, especially early in the season in terms of their shooting. But this game can certainly serve as a big confidence boost for them going forward. And, of course, you have those 2 huge matchups over the next couple weeks. Hopkins first, down in Baltimore, and then Haverford the week after that. The teams that are currently 2 and 3 in the Centennial Conference, you know, hosting rights on the line right now and coming down into these final 4 games for the Centennial Conference Tournament.
Should be a fun ride to get there. Your final here from Tarbell Pavilion. It's Swarthmore 85, Franklin and Marshall 68. Daya has been our producer today. Daya Shrestha, he is fantastic. My color commentator, Jacob Brady, and I am Bob Long saying so long here from Tarbell Pavilion. A look inside our broadcast booth as we bid you adieu. Have a great rest of your Saturday, everybody. Again, Swarthmore the winner, 85-68, retaining the #1 ranking in the country and remaining unbeaten in Centennial Conference play and anywhere you look. 21-0, 14-0 in the league. Until next time, everybody, take care.